Hello, guys. We're going to discuss top 10 emerging technologies in 2024. Now, as you are aware, World Economic Forum conducts a session in January every year in Switzerland, Davos. And from career perspective, if at all you are a student and you are expected to get out of the college after education in 2, 3, 4, 5 years, then obviously the question in our minds is what kind of jobs will I get once I get out of the college? What location I will I get jobs in, and how much will I get paid? These are some of the aspects which always are on the in the top of our mind. So while studying also, if at all we can understand what kind of technologies or what kind of products or what kind of industries are evolving, are getting developed, that can give us opportunity, employment opportunity or business opportunity, then obviously it can help us in planning our or mapping our careers in a proper way. Now, this Davos World Economic Forum, as you are aware, the most influential people across the globe, from industrial circles, political circles, social circles, all other aspects, pharmaceutical, doctors, artists, everybody gathers in Switzerland every year in January. Davos is the city where all of these people gather and think about what products, what problems are we facing as a human kind, and what are technologies or what are solutions we can discuss that can be implemented in the coming 3, 4, 5, 10 years. So if you can think about artificial intelligence, for example, Davos, the artificial intelligence was discussed in Davos during 2020, 2015, 2016, 2017. That is 6 or 7 years ago. And now we are seeing artificial intelligence getting propagated very effectively across the globe. So to understand what kind of situations, what kind of industries, what kind of employments can get generated in the coming 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, we need to understand what kind of emerging technologies are taking their deep roots in and around us. So as we're aware, these emerging technologies will obviously, some of them, not all of them, some of them will be very important, just like AI, for example, now. And they are going to create a major chunk of employment as well as business opportunities in the coming 3 to 5, 7 years. So from that angle, that perspective, what kind of situations students should expect to face in 3, 7, 5 years? What kind of situations working professionals like us should expect in 3, 4, 7 years? What kind of skilling, unskilling, reskilling that will be required for us? It's very important to understand. And from this context, top 10 emerging technologies that are advocated by World Economic Forum in 2024 are very important. And the objective of today's video is to share these top 10 emerging technologies that World Economic Forum says are going to play a very important role in our future. So the first technology that our World Economic Forum says, before that, let me give you a typical process using which World Economic Forum WEF typically reaches these conclusions. So if at all from their representatives and members spread across the globe, they will be getting information about the upcoming technologies and upcoming trends. So let us say if there are 1,000, 1,500 trends or technologies that are actively being pursued across the globe, the various parameters will be used by World Economic Forum judges and representatives to screen these technologies from their scale perspective, from their availability perspective, from their operating practical utilization perspective, implementation perspective, finance resources perspective, and whether it is capital intensive and what kind of solution, what kind of problem that we are facing is going to get resolved because of these emerging technologies is very important. So after 1,500, 1,200 technologies, these representatives screen approximately 70 technologies, out of which these 10 technologies were selected by these World Economic Forum representatives to be the most important emerging technologies in 2024. The first technology is AI for scientific discovery. As you are aware, any scientific discovery is based on a lot of observations, a lot of assumptions, a lot of information, a lot of data that is available around us. Now, the problem with human being is we have limited time per day to work and limited capacity compared to artificial intelligence. So if at all we can use the very powerful tool like artificial intelligence to assimilate, to observe, to analyze, to process vast amount of data available across the globe, in order to solve certain problem, obviously AI will be far more effective compared to a single person at any given point in time. So the kind of research or kind of discovery a typical human being can do in his lifetime can be done by AI in a month or 6 months time. These are thumb rules actually, but this is the situation. That's why if at all we can use artificial intelligence to access, to process, to assimilate, and to visualize the data available across the globe for certain scientific discoveries. Obviously, it is going to be very effective, less time consuming, and we are going to get a lot of time to focus on the remedies or to remediation or to operationalize all these conclusions or observations that AI will throw at us during these scientific discoveries. Just to give example, for example, if a medical fraternity, Corona, for example, if at all data was available in China, Italy, Europe, America, India, and if there was a central facility using artificial intelligence, they were getting all the signals, all the data, and artificial intelligence was analyzing, visualizing, assimilating all the data. Obviously, the assumptions or the conclusions or the observations or the recommendations from the AI model would have been very different. And it would have certainly helped us take care of Corona in a very effective way in less time as possible. So this is very important, AI for scientific discovery. The second point that WEF, World Economic Forum, says is going to be the most important emerging technology. These numbers are random. I'm not giving the AI for scientific discoveries first. All these are, we cannot say this is first or this is last. All these are equally important, and we are going by random, in a random manner. So second point is privacy enhancing technologies. As you are aware, a lot of information is flowing across the internet, and especially we are worried about personal data getting hacked or personal data getting exposed to public. So, and at the same time, on the other hand, we need data about a lot of people to work on certain solutions, to work on certain assumptions, to work on certain recommendations, and to work on removing certain bottlenecks or pain points that we are facing. So if at all this data needs to be utilized globally, and at the same time, we need to make sure that personal data is not getting leaked or not getting exposed. Obviously, this is going to be a very important privacy enhancing technology. So what kind of this privacy enhancing technology is a synthetic data. So it's the same data, but the privacy related data, privacy related pointers are hidden or blurred, so to say. For example, if we are having a Zoom or WebEx call, if my background is blurred, you cannot see my background. You can understand that it seems like a house or a monitor or whatever, but you will not get clear idea about what is my background since it is blurred. But you can see me. Now, in the similar fashion, synthetic data is the data about myself, but synthetic data is data about me, which is non-privacy related. So whatever information that you need from me, which is not private, can be accessed, and that is synthetic data. So if this synthetic data can be made available across the globe on as many people as possible, and obviously the AI models will be working very efficiently, very effectively, very organically, or very organized, very organized manner, and we'll get better results. So this is a second important aspect of emerging technology, which is privacy enhancing technology. That is synthetic data. The third point is reconfigurable intelligent surfaces. Now, as we're aware, we are living in a digital world, and there are a lot of signals that are getting thrown at us, or we are receiving them, and some towers are transmitting them. For example, it can be TV, it can be wireless, it can be our mobile phones. We are getting signals from telecom towers or TV towers or whatever. And even radio frequency radio is a wave, radio is a signal. So if at all, the problem here is all these technologies are based on line of sight. If point A needs to send data to point B, the line of sight, the point A should be able to see B very clearly. The distance does not matter, but there should not be any obstruction in the path. And if there is a clear line of sight, obviously the data can reach destination very fast, and signal strength also will be good. But unfortunately, because of the construction, etc., natural obstacles, not everything, and the Earth is joined in shape. So obviously, we cannot have line of sight at all the places all the time. So in that case, what the reconfigurable intelligent surfaces say is any surface, it can be a wall, it can be a monitor, it can be a book, it can be clothes, it can be anything. Any surface can be reconfigured using very minute mirrors. The objective here is if certain transceiver is transmitting signal, the mirrors can be adjusted in such a way that all the focus of the transmission is concentrated at the exact destination. and it is not carpet bombing, for example. So if the reconfigurable intelligent surfaces necessarily means the surfaces will be configured in such a way, the monitors, the mirrors, the minute mirrors on these intelligent surfaces will be configured in such a way, will be positioned in such a way so that the signals are received in one direction, whereas the direction in which they are sent is very focused and very concentrated on the destination. Because of which, obviously, the signal strength will be very good. The data, and since the signal strength is good, the data transmission rate also is good, and we don't have to worry about line of sight. So this is going to be the future. This is going to be very important because in utilizing the existing infrastructure, it can be construction, it can be cities, it can be towns, it can be mountains, it can be nature, it can be trees. So taking into consideration all these limitations, we need to make sure that the signal strength is good at all the places and the data transmission rates are high. So in this situation, reconfigurable intelligent surfaces are going to play a major role, using which we can make sure that the signals are strong and data transmission rates are very high wherever we focus them to be. The fourth important point is high altitude platform stations, HAPS, high altitude platform stations. Now the limitation, just to extend the discussion about reconfigurable intelligent surfaces, we are using telecom towers or TV stations or radio signals, radio transceivers, receivers. The problem here is all these have a limitation of height. For example, telecom towers can be X height, TV station towers can be Y height, it can be mounted on mountains, etc. It can be placed on mountains, but then also there is a limitation. So the solution here is to reach as many blind spots as possible. And telecom towers has a range beyond which they cannot operate, beyond which they cannot emit the signals. So if at all we can have aerial towers, the towers that are floating in the air, it will be able to cover more area. So in the same context, if we can have high altitude platform stations, it can be either a aircraft that is rotating about 20,000 feet above ground, or it can be a balloon that can be used in above ground at 20,000 feet. And this balloon will be used to transmit all the data, all the signals to a vast area, the geographic area from a single location. And this balloon or this airplane can be connected to data center, which is the core supplier. So this is the thought process. If we can move these towers, so to say, to air, if we can have aerial towers, obviously the blind spots, the areas which are not covered, the jungles, the natural, the physically not accessible regions of the world, those also can be covered using these high altitude platform stations to emit signals, not only internet, but also for others, TV, for example, or any other signal for that matter, wireless communication, etc., radio frequency, etc. So this is the emerging technology, as you are aware. Starlink, which is launched by the Elon Musk, is the same thing. High altitude platform stations, using which he will be transmitting data. He will be giving us access to internet from remote high altitude platform station that will be rotating above in the orbit of Earth, with the Earth. So the fifth point is integrated sensing and communications. So the next point important is, as you are aware, there are so many sensors around us. For example, let me give you an example. If you have a gas connection or electricity connection, there is a reading. There is a meter that gives a reading, and based on the reading of the meter, we get billed by the service provider. Now imagine this meter, either a gas meter or electric meter or any other meter, water meter for that matter. If this meter itself can transmit this data to its POP or to its core or its data center, obviously there is no need for anybody to visit that meter physically and read the data, take the reading for that matter. So if at all these sensors can be integrated with the capacity to communicate, this is where we are moving now. So integrated sensing and communication is the next wave, using which everything that can sense physical location, temperature, weather, etc. There are the practical applications are boundless. If the sensors can be equipped with telecommunication capabilities, we are going to see a vast difference in the services that we get and the way the service providers bill us. It's going to be very smooth. This is not only from the personal user's perspective, but industrial applications are also fantastic. The integrated sensors can obviously tell us about the weather forecast. If at all we are using this high altitude platform stations, for example, if there are aeroplanes which photovoltaic cells that they will be generating their electricity using solar power, and they will keep on rotating above our head for almost 4, 6, 5, 6, 7 months until they break down or until they need maintenance. So that kind of activity can be done. And these sensors, while they will not only be sending signals, internet signals, or any TV signals to the subscribers, but it also will give us visual data, visual senses, visual sensory data about weather and all that, natural calamities, etc., etc. That can be forecasted in a very effective manner. So next point, sixth point is immersive technology for the built world. As you are aware, 40% of carbon emissions is attributed to construction side of the activities, and that is a very big polluter, so to say. So if at all we can make sure that this technology, the designs of all these real estate or the projects can be made before even touching brick and mortar, before anything is built on the ground. If this technology, if these designs can be developed, visualized, and checked for variability or for their operational excellence or any defects using immersive technology, that is going to help us avoid a lot of repeat work or a lot of resource wastage. At the same time, it will save time. At the same time, it will be very cost effective from the climate control CO2 emissions also. The immersive technology is basically visualizing, designing anything before we actually do take any steps on the ground. So this will help us if there are any defects that can be sorted out. If there are any wrong designs, it can be sorted out even before touching the brick and mortar. So this is going to help us in a very, very efficient and better way. The seventh important point is elastocalorics. Now this is a very interesting topic. Refrigeration and air conditioning is playing a major role in greenhouse emissions and all this. So this refrigeration and air conditioning uses HFC and CFC, as well, chlorofluorochloride, HFC, and these poisonous, not poisonous exactly, but these harmful gases, because of which we are losing ozone layers. So this elastocalorics is the idea we're using, which this basically elastocalorics is we can say it is a method. It is method in which the metals, for example, nickel, titanium. There are certain metals in the nature there are certain metals metals available. If they are stressed, if we put enough pressure on those metals, they emit heat. So they emit heat, and if we can reduce the stress, if we can take the stress out from the metals, they will absorb heat. That means the atmosphere near that metal will be cold. So these scientists are working on this elastocalorics, using which the air conditioning or the heater or the cooler of the room can also be used using this nickel, titanium kind of metals that can be manipulated, so to say, by putting stress on the metal itself. It can emit heat. It can be used as a heater. And if we are removing the stress slowly from the metal, it will absorb heat and the room can become cool. So obviously there are other mechanics involved in this, but people are working very hard on these lines, because using this elastocalorics, a lot of pollutants, a lot of refrigeration, a lot of air conditioning is going to change drastically in the coming days. And elastocalorics is very advanced stages of practical implementation and testing as we speak. So the eighth point that World Economic Forum is going to be the emerging technology is carbon capturing microbes. As you are aware, we are still discussing about climate control and global warming. So there are certain microbes that are available in the nature that their food is carbon basically. So they eat carbon, and then they whatever waste that is produced, that also can be utilized for other purposes. So these carbon capturing microbes can be cultured. Capturing microbes can be cultivated and can be used to reduce the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, in the surroundings, and that is going to play a very important role. So the next logical step is livestock feeds. As you are aware, there are certain algae and microbes that basically feed on all this waste. For example, if these carbon capturing microbes feed on carbon, we get a product from these microbes that is suitable to our other applications. On similar lines, there are certain algae and microbes that can eat waste and create and generate certain products that can be used as a livestock feed. It is a single cell protein, so to say. So this also is the area where a lot of work is going on, using which these algae and microbes that are available in nature can be used to used to utilize the waste that we are producing, food waste, for example, and using this waste, these microbes and algae, they will be eating this waste, food waste, and they will be creating something that can be used as a livestock feed. As you're aware, livestock feed is putting putting a lot of pressure on nature, because to feed these animals we need a lot of greens, so to say. So these livestock feeds can be developed using single cell proteins that are products of algae and microbes that are eating waste, that are thriving on this waste, and they are giving us a product that can be used as a livestock feed. This is an interesting concept. And the last point, as per the World Economic Forum, that is emerging technologies, genomics for transplants. As you are aware, liver transplant, brain transplant, heart transplant, and kidney transplant. A lot of patients are dying because, unfortunately, because whenever they need transplants of these organs are not available. As a study, if there are 1 lakh patients waiting for certain transplants, it can be liver, kidney, or heart. Only 20 to 25,000 people are getting the transplants, whereas remaining, unfortunately, has to die because there is no availability of organs that can be transplanted. The first thing is, if there are any hereditary diseases, so genomics for transplants is there are 2 aspects to this. If there are certain hereditary diseases, the study of genomes and genomics will make sure that we can edit those genomes to make sure that the area which is harmful to us, area which is creating the havoc from medical risk perspective, health risk perspective can be edited or removed. Similarly, if there are certain animals whose organs can be utilized in the human body, that those things are also been worked. For example, before some months, I think a pig's heart was transplanted in a human being as a patient. So that pig's heart was genomically edited, modified to suit human body. And I think I'm not sure about the patient's situation now, but the operation was successful. So if at all we are thinking about transplanting other animals' body organs into human body, we have to first of all make sure that our body does not react violently to that. It does not treat this organ as a external threat or invader in our body, and that starts reacting accordingly. Also, there's one more aspect. It's like if as a human being we are immune to certain viruses and diseases, and pigs are immune to certain viruses and diseases. Similarly, pigs, or for example, I'm giving this pig as an example here. If certain animals, but in this case pig, can be affected by certain virus, and human beings are not. And in that case, if a pig's heart is utilized in human body, and if human body is infected by the virus, which can be lethal to the pig, what will happen to the pig's heart that is implanted in the human body? That also is being taken care of. So basically, genomics is editing the genomes, either in animals or human bodies, to make sure that whatever weaknesses, whatever problems that we're facing can be removed, so that the genes become ideal or healthy or disease proof. So there is also ethical and animal rights protection angle to this. So we need to take all these aspects into consideration before going any further. So these 10 aspects, World Economic Forum says, are going to change the way we live our lives in the next 3, 5, 7 years. The first is artificial intelligence for scientific discovery. The second is privacy enhancing technologies like synthetic data. The third is reconfigurable intelligent surfaces for better signal coverage and data transmission. Fourth is high altitude platform stations to reduce the digital divide, to make sure that even the remotest people can get access to technology. The fifth is integrated sensing and communication. Sixth is immersive technology for the built world. That is, the next step is text to design. If I want certain design, I can, just like ChatGPT, I can say that I need 24th floor building with ABC amenities, configuration, flat configurations are these, areas these, I need safety features, I need, and RERA guidelines are to be followed, etc., etc., and I will get a ready-made design. So we are moving there. That is called text to design. The next is electrocalorics that can be utilized in refrigeration and air conditioning. Then there is carbon capturing microbes to reduce carbon footprint. Then there is livestock feeds from single cell protein using microbes and algae. And the 10th is genomics for transplants, wherein we can make sure that the hereditary problems can be taken care of by using genomic editing. And similarly, if at all possible, and if compatible, animal organs also can be utilized after editing their genes to suit human bodies. So this is where all of us are going, and we need to make sure that we keep focused on what Economic World Forum has to say. so that we can also align our careers, our career paths, and our objectives and ambitions in those lines. I'm sure it is going to help us immensely. Just like artificial intelligence was just toast of 2015, these things, the 10 things are going to be the toast of 2025, 26, 27, and 2030s. So let us hope that we are on the right track. Thank you very much.